My first guest is an NBA great. He holds a special place in the hearts and memories of players and fans. It's been said that Charles Oakley has had more unbelievable encounters than Forrest Gump and nearly as many fights as Mike Tyson. Charles Oakley, or Oak, is an iconic NBA All-Star who played in the league for nearly 20 years. Oakley's skills as a fierce competitor and hard-driving rebounder helped push the Knicks to the playoffs for 10 consecutive seasons. But it was his legendary toughness on and off the court that made Oak a fan favorite, from his infamous brawl with Charles Barkley to his most recent legal battle with the Knicks team owner James Dolan. Oak never backs down from a fight. Charles Oakley details it all in his new book, The Last Enforcer. Please welcome NBA great Charles Oakley to the Tam Fam. Well, hello. Now that's an entrance. That's a suave entrance. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Oh, how perfect. You're live with us today. And the Knicks yesterday got destroyed. We'll talk about that in a second. But I want to start with the books. First of all, I love the cover. I love the title of it, The Last Enforcer. I want to go, though, to college. When you were this young man at a historically black college, Virginia Union University, and you're getting ready to go to the big leagues. HBCUs getting a lot of love, Kamala Harris, a lot more lately. Back then, though, getting into the NBA from an HBCU, what was it like?
It was tough. First of all, thanks for having me on the show.
Of course.
But going to Virginia Union, it was a game change for me because growing up in Cleveland, it was getting bad. So I had to make a change. So I wanted to go further away from home than I could. It was an 8-hour ride on the Greyhound.
Wow.
So when I got there, it was a different experience, small campus. But one thing I noticed when I got there, after a week or two, 3 go past, everybody was like, the juniors and seniors and everybody hung together. They stood up for one another. They stuck together. And so that's why I came from a family who's, always did things and helped people and stuck together. So that was like being at home almost.
I mean, but also there's a comfortable spirit in the community, but also it set you up for going into the NBA in some ways underestimated because it was an HBCU.
Yes, but I think when I went there, that wasn't in my mind because I didn't know my life was just taking off. And I know that I didn't go to a Division I school like some other guys who I came up with. And so I was just taking a step at a time. And next thing I know, my junior, senior year, they started talking about me more. And then they said, well, you might go 4th round or something. So I didn't pay attention to what they were talking about. I knew what I could do.
Yeah.
So I just kept working, and I got invited to a couple All-Star games, and I showed out.
Yeah.
So you know how it is. They said, when you get a chance to show out. So I did, and next thing I know, I went top 10.
Yeah. Where did you get this fighting spirit from? As I mentioned, they say that you've had more fights than Mike Tyson. In the book, you talked about how you learned not to back down from any fight. Even when people were older than you as a kid. You said, I decided that my attitude would be to stand tall and tough. If they're going to give it to you, you got to give it to them. I wouldn't fight for no reason, but if somebody crossed me, insulted me, or attacked me, then we'd have a problem.
Right.
Where did that come from?
Basically, growing up around my grandfather, my family, how tough-minded they was and what happened, a lot of things happened. Like, you don't mind, like, if you're a kid, come home crying, and, like, what happened? Sometimes stuff happens. So I'll tell you a story about when I was growing up, I was playing football, and I was a better football and basketball player. So anyway, it was these 2 brothers, and, I was getting the best of them. I guess they thought I was supposed to just back down because I know he had a brother on the team, but I was just trying to take both of them head off in practice. And the next day, they brought their uncle to practice, and after practice, I was walking home, they jumped me, and I broke my arm. So when I got home, they said, what happened? I said, I fell and broke my arm. I didn't tell them somebody, jumped me and did it because I know what would have happened. But I started growing from there.
How did that impact the way you played? I mean, obviously, the last enforcer, the game-changing athlete. I was watching the Knicks game, not the disaster from yesterday, but a couple of days ago.
Right, the Lakers.
And they get to the Lakers, and they reference your name. They're like, aggressive rebounder, like Charles Oakley. You're still revered and referenced even amongst these new guys.
Yes. So in the book, they still talk about me like I'm playing, but I'm glad of that because, so many things can happen. But as far as on the court, you got to make a stand. In life, you have to make a stand. And once I came into the league from a small school, and it was like these pros, 3 guys playing the same position to me. And I think by the time February came, I had the job because I was just out working everybody. So a lot of work and time.
When we come back, I have so many more questions. You married later in life. Your friendship with Michael Jordan remains one of the epic friendships of having someone's back. He wrote the foreword for the book. And guess what? We're cooking with Oak. After the break, don't go anywhere. Today, we're talking to game changers, people whose passions have driven them to become trailblazers and break barriers for those who follow. We're back with iconic basketball player and author of The Last Enforcer, Charles Oakley. So here we are. I teased it. The Knicks. You've been critical of them in the past. You've been critical of the NBA and how some people play, not the league, but that players are not as aggressive as they were in the past. You're not alone in saying that. How do you think they should change it?
I think everything can change in life for us, what's going on with the pandemic. I think the league made a change because it went more global, European. So when I played back in the 80s and 90s, people always talk about the glory days, but you might have had 2% European players. Now you got 33%. So the money value is global, so that's why they had to change the league for the players who were not physical to come in the game, guys who like to shoot threes. So now the game is a 3-point game.
What was really going on with you and Barkley? I mean, I know that there's been legendary stories that you guys are not close anymore.
Legendary story. Barkley, I talk about it
in the book.
Not in the book, the first chapter of the book. So he's the smoke in the book. But we've been having going ever since in a game. He put his hand, he touched me on the chin. And if I'm an enforcer, you can never do that to me.
So he touched you on the chin how many years ago, and you're still mad at him?
Not just that. He said some other things in the he talked now, but back in the 80s, 90s, he didn't talk. That's why he hit me on the chin. But, I mean, Barkley's Barkley. He's a great player. I give him that. But everything else...
Well, what do you say when people say you guys kind of have a lot in common? I mean...
yes, we do. We play the same position. We wear the same number. We got the same first name, almost the same last names. So
is that why there's always... I mean, maybe you're too close to each other?
You know, he came in the same room with me. But like I said, he worked for TNT now, and he know he can't say my name on this show. If he do, I'm going to have to come see him.
Okay, I don't want to start. Listen, I don't need that in my life. You and Jordan have remained close all of these years, one of your best friends. I think it was him and others who've said that if you want a true friend, someone who will always have your back, you're that guy. And I thought about what you said about was it your grandfather.
Right.
It seems like you were just raised with a cloth of people, especially him, that taught you to be loyal.
Yes, especially my grandfather, my grandmother, and then my aunts and uncles growing up, they was tough on us and not... kids, wow, you was disciplined in Alabama, and we know what this type of discipline that was. No, it was just love. I think that you got to grow into your own self as you get older. But I just came up listening, always listen, what kids these days don't do, and just try to follow order, what they don't do.
Wait a minute, you said kids don't do these days. You have how many children now? Ages?
Well, we got Ava, Arlie, Mari, Charlie, and Angelo.
And your oldest is 20s, 20-ish. Charlie. And then your youngest is a baby.
Yeah, Arlie is 5, yes.
5.
Yes.
So you have this huge age range in your kids. How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, just like you handle everything else. Get up in the morning, you go to the restroom, put your pants on, go out and make money.
For the kids, you need a lot of that.
No, they need a lot of love. Arlie, she's, like I said, she loved me so much. And she like 2 dishes. She like chicken fried rice, and she liked pasta. Which
we're going to make your pasta later. Like me, I got married later in life. I was 48. You were 52-ish?
53, 54.
Did you wait to get married after basketball life?
Well, no, I didn't wait. It just, I don't know, it just happened. You know, I think when you're playing ball, you're on the road so much. I know a lot of guys, you know, commit to that too while they're playing. I think I just wanted to commit it to my job and just trying to make sure I was successful with my team and then shortcut my team. And some guys can do it, like in college.
So you don't think you could have been married and played ball at the same time?
No, because it's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication and, you know, taking the kids to school or doing this and that, taking them to practice. So I probably could have. I might have been shorting my teammate, and I didn't want to do that. So I waited till I got through playing, and hey, I still have a beautiful daughter and a beautiful family.
Of course, I was struck by the fact that when you walked out, you've got you're the silver fox now. And looking at the old pictures, we talk a lot about women and aging and how do you age gracefully. Here you are, a physical player, you're still in shape,
Right.
and you're not doing the Just for Men, no insult to Just for Men.
No,
You're
no.
not dyeing your hair,
No.
you're keeping it. How do you feel now, all these years later?
I feel great. You know, I talk to a lot of ex-athletes. When they get up in the morning, they got to sit in the bed for a half hour and then tie the shoes up another 20, 30 minutes. I haven't reached that point in life.
And you played a lot. You played hard,
yes,
and so
yes,
it's amazing
physically,
that you
yes.
still feel good.
So yeah, I haven't broke down. My thing is I try to hit the gym at least 4 or 5 days a week because if you don't put nothing in, you don't get nothing out. And so try to eat right because I do my own cooking. And it's just some things that when you get older, you got to adjust to.
Yeah. Listen, you got a
you wanna be
5-year-old.
here.
That's going to keep you younger than
Yes.
anybody
Oh, yeah.
else. I can attest to that.
Because I don't mind being with her. Like she like to walk, she like to do this and that, she like to play. So that's keeping me young too.
All right, what's going to happen with the Knicks? This is how do they reinvent this team?
I guess it all start up top, then come to the bottom. But I mean, they last year was the top 4 team. This year they're a top 12 team. So you thought they was going forward, now they're going backwards again. So they got to work it out. I think it's in-house. Got to get a leader, and it's up to the players. This is New York. You got to play hard. Or you got to go.